until they die or play dead. And then they have to find out where they are, how it works. So you basically understanding what thinking is in your reclamation of building your new seed thought. Because a different part of you has learned to think differently now. Because you have to go through it. You are the result of your thoughts and the impingement of others also, the acceptance of false belief systems and all of these things. Not understanding nature herself, the invisibleness of space, so to speak. Yet, units of consciousness are going to begin to participate with in the interaction with the human condition, and it's usually going to occur at night in the darkness after 6 p.m. is when some of the invisible spirits come, mostly to interfere. Some want to learn, some to ridicule, but you need to know what the clock means. And that's a time for prayer, center and self. And don't pay attention to their influence. This is what gets a lot of beings in difficulty. You get into your thinking should always be a prayer. And the easiest prayer is just thankfulness for your life. That's the simplest prayer. And just staring at water, even the fish tank with fishes in it, is a healing process. Just simply staring at the water, because it's the communication that goes on there. We've said simply before, bless the water before you drink it. But more you contemplate water, the more you'll understand who you truly are. More power you have, the more electrical current you will develop. You have this thing with magnets that attract metal. Well, magnets, the reason they attract metal is because they have no ionic energy of metal in them. The polarities have been separated. And they're yearning for it. They're calling it. Well, the same with the human condition in the water system. You're electrical through water. Your polarities are becoming separate and you're calling. So you've got to be careful in the attractions. And it's in the thinking and the seed thought. You correct your seed thought. You understand what health to body, mind, and spirit means. Becomes a command from your divine holy self to all units within your own system. To all units within your own system. And as you go through the human condition with your illnesses, you go to your doctors and your practitioners who are supposed to know more about your body than you do. But they don't really. They know the general functions, but not the consciousness within you. And as you present diseases to them, they also learn the functions to cure diseases for others, because they have an emotional interaction experience there. Yet now your world is caught in drugs curing. That's not what cures. That confuses. The only thing that cures is supplication, prayers, and forgiveness of yourself for inappropriate behavior with the vehicle, because you are owner of this thing and you're responsible for it. Yet the systems within your world don't allow that understanding, that you have an entity in your liver, you have an entity in your colon, you have an entity in your heart, spleen, pancreas. All units came from the same seed you did, consciousness-wise, and they're participating with you, within you, as a grouping of beings, not one greater or lesser, equal. And you have to understand that equality within each You have yearnings, you have cravings. You need to know which organ is craving, which one is good for, which one it isn't. You need to balance frequencies now. And the easiest way to balance frequencies is with permission when you're drinking water. It produces what is termed magnificent health. It'll take you through a catharsis, and then you'll come back and understand completely. And then you'll be the ruler of your kingdom. Not the kingdom being the body, the holy temple. And this is what's being cleaned now for everyone. Everyone. Your religions only provided guidance a little way. And then you have to now understand that you're a unit that's unique and responsible unto the what is called the divine portions that are manifested in you, and those are your organs. And that's why many are doing with this organ transplant thing. You don't know who's in there. Peace and virtues on that. The idea of creation is imbued within everyone. You know you came from somewhere. You've heard stories about going somewhere. You're in the process now of the understanding of both of them completely. Because the unit here, it's in the heart chakra, is going to expand. And as it does, the soul's going to open up. You're going to understand what the soul really is for and how it desires uniquely to give service to others, not itself. That's what the soul desires. And not for recognition of itself as service to others either. Mostly service to others just for service to others. For assistance. So they can go on their way and get out of the mud. This is what's occurring now. Do you have any questions? You'll have to speak louder if you did.
Only a personal one. My eyes seem to be filming over.
Yeah.
Getting worse.
Yeah.
How can I fix them? What can I do? I need to see.
Well,
be honest.
I'll tell you why they're filming over.
Why?
It's because you don't want to see this nonsense anymore.
Oh.
Literally. Now back here, in the back of your brain and consciousness, in the skull bone, there's a point, a dot. Put your finger back here. You'll find. Put there. There's a little
point?
bone there. Okay.
The Casey thing?
It's up top, right about there.
I can't
Now
see.
push that. That should have an effect here. And it should release some of the pressure here.
I can't see.
Back. You want to move it back.
Wait, I don't know where your hand is.
One of the things you're going through is you deeply inside you're realizing, part of you realizing your eyes have an effect. Simply by looking at one, you can damage one and cure at the same time. Yet you're kind of reticent of letting all of that come forth, so you're shielding this light that will come out of your eyes. You don't want necessarily to expose yourself yet. But you can, it'll be a rollback like a shade. You pull up a shade. Mm-hmm. You've seen some entities, when they get possessed, the eyes roll back into their heads. Another force comes in working there. That is not what you need to accept. You need to accept that there's another portion back here trying to communicate and allowing you to see differently.
Hold on. Put your hand. I want to go back and see. I want to.
Get it.
Okay.
I'll put your bone here. I don't want to hurt. So. Okay. Right there. Right there.
Here. Oh.
Put your foot right there. You got it? Let me get your finger. Your finger.
Oh,
Is it?
there.
Feel it?
Oh, yeah. There's a protrusion there.
Yeah.
Oh.
You should feel it here. Yeah, okay, and then it comes up for clear start there. And it come back down. It'll be like a cycle. When you this is going to take you beyond reading his thoughts.
There's a bump. There's a bump there. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll be careful how you'll be careful how you look at people. That's why sometimes when we are speaking, we don't look. We have to keep his eyes closed at times because he reacts. And as we open, you'll find out who's truly seeing, and the seeing will come from here. And then what you do is, it's automatic. You start putting up defenses. Because the minute you start opening here, everybody wants to dive in, jump in. Yeah. Because they see the light, and it's almost like a suction. So you have to kind of shut it off. Otherwise you have a whirlpool effect of dizziness and people falling down, and you don't need that. So your eyes are giving you a message of, well, let's see, I can't say the eyes. You're having the confusion of thought, limiting what you can see and react to perceive. Your guides want you to start understanding things inherently within yourself without necessarily in order to see it. They want you to react differently. So you're having it's not a blindness thing, but you're having a forced meditation where you're going to have to focus here. And then the clarity comes up. You can have, what is this thing? Visine? You have Visine things for your eyes? Fluids they can put in.
Eye drops.
Eye drops. That'll help clear. But you're being, in a manner, forced to slow down a minute, forced to get into more meditation, and ask for clarity on the visual perceptions. Because as space shifts, you're going to find out that your vision will also shift, but you're going to have to perceive things differently, and primarily by other senses that you haven't utilized. But you will still see, but you have a different notification within the head. Back here, a realization. There are pulses occurring within the brain synapses and the heart chakra now for everyone. And these are impulses that are working to create youthfulness in the body. When you were younger, your body had different thought consciousness. So they're reactivating that youthful understanding instead of this when I grow up process I'm going to do. You are grown up now. So you're going to go through this process of stabilizing space. You begin to, you'll see here on this side of the head, right side of the head, from the inside. You'll see on the left side of the head. You'll see in the back of the head. And you'll see in the front of the head, which is everyone's concerned with the third eye thing. That's the last one to open. These other three have to open first. And then you, and that's the symbolism of the four-headed God thing. Seeing all directions.
This is everyone now. This is everyone now. I can print this part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You want to learn to see thankfully. And meditation was taught for stillness of the body. So you could think. So you could practice what your thinking was and not someone else's. Yet in meditation you receive a lot of thought, a lot of processings, and you have not been taught how to not think because you're hearing thoughts. First you've got to get to thinking, where is that? And then you've got to get to not thinking, and that is being. The process is electrical, and the process is magnetic, and that's why you have water as your main conductor of information, because electricity passes right through it. Right through it. Right through it. And sound alters the path of water.
Alters? A-L-T-E-R-S?
Say?
Alters. Changes?
Changing?
No. Sound alters? A-L-T-E-R-S. Alters. Okay.
Yeah. If you have water coming down a hill or a little pipe and you play certain notes, it'll create steps.
Sound alters.
By the music of it. And you are musical instruments, really. You have divine tone here in your ribs that produce certain electrical tones that haven't been experienced yet. You actually a note, a song, walking, but you haven't got there yet. And the eyes that you personally are going through are part of your inner rewinding of what you call the capacity within the brain, synapses and things going. And this hand exercise with the fingers should be helping. You've got to just direct it. What you do is, perhaps I didn't explain it before, you keep your eyelids closed, you open your eye, bring the eyeball up front underneath the eyelid, and you push the energy or focus it through the tips of your fingers through your iris. Through the iris. You feel it. It goes right there. You open your eyes underneath the eyelid, that's why you hold them down and focus the frequency through the center of your eyeball, which is open and underneath the eyelid.
Okay, I didn't open them. Okay.
It's not the white muscle you're trying to activate, it's the inner sense, the retinas and cones. And that applies for everyone now, because there's a lot of distortion in your air. You have beings spraying you, like your insects, in your air. We're using them chemtrails. They're actually inoculating you.
For what purpose?
Causing disturbance. What's that? And that's what your... Well, the human system's overcoming it now. It's getting the your spiritual forces are coming to help what you call your angelic guides, many more than you can even imagine. And they're coming to assist everyone that wants to pay attention. It won't be forced. You'll be paying attention or not. You'll understand that you're being talked to by your spiritual guides, the divine ones. You're being taught by some pretty significant masters. The difficulty is you have to pay attention to the master. They know this. They're trying to pass the information on so it can be applied by you, so you can pass it on, that sort of thing. It's like they're teaching the teachers to teach. Yeah. And then there's this cleansing that you're going through. Like I said, you're going through the last, and it's been talked of, but you're in it now. And it's the last of the Hopi prophecies, cleansing. What they term cleansing. Another word is purification, which is more significant than cleansing. That's where the seed thoughts and the mind and the process are called self has to clean its act up, basically. And you're seeing it in your media and in all your news things, you're seeing it, but no one knows how to correct. You correct right now, you center. You say, peace to all beings, number one, because God's justice is peace. That's what it is, peace. And you're in the process of understanding nature because you're natural beings. Natural. But you've been trained to be fearful, which is incongruous to your divine intent and purpose. Give me a moment. We say, right at the bottom of your heart, there's always this little bit of thing. Looks like a little tiny